My name is James Williams Jr. This is cover number 2. This is part 3 of racism. So now let's move up to the modern day. Let's move up to the racism in America that we tend to ignore. I've showed you a video of this guy from the Democratic something or another. I forgot it already. If you've been watching it, you know what I'm talking about. I have watched a lot of Donald Trump's campaign during this whole thing for like the last year and some change. And everything that he said was just astounding. And it was totally astonishing that black people actually voted for this guy. And that one video that he had that a black guy defended him or whatever, he said, yeah, that's my African American right there. Or that was my Negro American. He said something in those lines. I don't remember exact lines, and I don't want to be sued for plagiarism or whatever, but I know the motherfucker said something about, that's my black guy. Okay. First and foremost, obviously they never watched you before that moment, and that was just, I guess, one isolated individual and money talks. You can pay anybody to be in your camp, especially when you have an abundant resource of money to throw around. And with that, I sit there and I'm watching this guy. And then, like, when the election happened and all the black people popped out that voted for him and all these black women, and I'm like, did you guys miss the whole Bully Bush grabbed them by the pussy and uh, boobs and stuff? And it's passed off his locker room and it's cost Billy Bush his job at NBC and all kinds of other stuff. And I'm like, were you guys all smoking weed when you went and got high and then decided to vote? Because this guy has been, like, putting down women, like, with, like, no shame and could care two shits about it. And he has two daughters, so you think that the things that he said, and a beautiful wife, you would think that the things he said he would PG-13 that shit. And no, he had no discriminatory actions of the shit that came out of his mouth. He did not give a fuck. He pretty much lost me right there. I have a mother. I have 5 sisters. I'll deny that I love them in court, but doesn't change the fact that I do. But for him to say that, it's like, this dude could have bumped into my mom, and did some shit, and I had to hurt him. Could have hurt one of my damn sisters and said, oh, look at her. I have 5 sisters, man. You know, that's not something that you take lightly. And even if you don't like your sisters, you don't want no one else to do anything to them. The only people who are allowed to hurt my family is me. But this asshat and all the people that voted for him were like, they all smoking the same swamp gas down in the states that he won and wherever else he won. He didn't win here in Virginia, but he won an ass load of stuff because most people chose not to get out and vote. But the racist shit that he said, I can't believe any Mexicans voted for him because he straight up called Mexicans murderers, robbers, rapists, and can't wait to throw them back over the border. He wants to body slam them over the border. He doesn't give a fuck about their feelings or their children or the guidance needed. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is like the clusterfuck from hell that's about to happen. So, as a victim of racism, I have never been assaulted, like anything outside of verbally. I've been verbally assaulted. I've been called a nigger more times than I can count on my hands and feet. But more than that, I have actually been called chief more than I've been called anything else. I'm like, wow, do I look that much fucking Native American that you could just outwardly call me chief whenever you fucking feel like it? I guess I need my next Halloween costume. I need to go get the Indian outfit, the feather dress and everything. Maybe I'll blend right in. But, that's my mom's nickname, by the way. I call her Premium Blend. It's a long story. We went to Scottsville. There were no black people. And she fit right in. That's the end of that story. But like I said, I've been a racist victim for 40 plus years. I'm 43, so damn near all my life. And then when people discover and they see your mom, they're like, oh, you're not really black. It's like, but I am, but you're not. But I am, but you're not. It's been that way. And again, America is the only country I know that won't address this. When I went to Canada, and I enjoyed my trip to Canada with the wheelchair basketball team, go Cardinals, I was never treated like I am here in my own country. When I went to Canada, and it might be the fact that they might think that I'm one of the First Nations people. They might not have thought that I was black because, like I said, tribal colors change. In generations, your colors change, and they basically treated me like I wanted to be treated. And I granted, okay, every store I went to, they were Korean, all right, and I get along with Asian people very well. Sorry, Asian people, if I just offended you, but it's true. I get along with Asian people very well, and before you guys say it's because they think that I'm one of them, I let them know off the back. I'm Native American, and I'm also black. I'm also white. I don't deny any part of my heritage. I don't have to accept all of it, but I do have to acknowledge it. There is white in my family. We have white members in our family. Somewhere down in Dawson County, whether they accept us or not, we are of the same blood. It's just that simple. My grandfather's related to y'all on some level or another. I don't know if y'all came to his funeral because I think I was 6 when he died. And I don't really remember everything about his funeral. But I remember being there. And I remember him not being dark while he was alive, but when he passed, he darkened up. So his skin like really just like darkened. He's like he went from being like off white to like dark, dark, not like pitch black dark, but like almost a little bit closer to my color than my mom's color. And you know, my dad first met my mom, he thought she was white. That's why he didn't really want to bother her because he's like, nah, that's not the thing you do. And next thing you know, here we are. But a lot of things that America doesn't address is racism. And like I said, when I was in Canada, everywhere I went, it was like, hey, how are you? What's going on? How's your life going? There was no, hey, nigger, what's up? Now, I rarely heard the word nigger until like the last time I went up there was like 2008 or whatever. It was the only time that I ever heard someone use the word nigger while I was in Canada. And it was by black people. And I was like, man, here we go. Somebody had to go and throw it a fucking monkey wrench in the whole damn thing. But they weren't even black. They were like from Africa or Swahili or whatever, where I guess nigger just became the thing there, and that's what they were doing. Yo nigga this, yo nigga that, nigga 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 nigga. And I got so angry, and I was like, I should go over there and say something. And then I thought, you know what? I'm not gonna let these rotten eggs ruin my motherfucking damn trip up here to Canada, because Canada is fucking awesome, and it is. And I had the best time in Toronto ever. Toronto, if I could move up there and it could be my home, away from home, if I could have property there, you're damn right I would do it. But I want a house right next to the Atobi Choke Gym. That's like my favorite spot ever. Plus, they have a really big pool there. And they have kung fu tournaments there. And the wheelchair basketball team is there. So, everything I know in Canada revolves around the Atobi Choke Gym and that 5-story mall that's underground. So, it's pretty nice up there. I don't like the cold weather. That's like my only complaint. And I've seen Niagara Falls at least 4 times from the platform, but not like the whole thing that you see on TV. But I've seen it at night where they shine the rainbow lights in it and everything, and that shit's cool as hell. And I don't know if they fixed whatever issue they were having up there because I haven't really been paying attention. But also, the last time I was up there, an Asian dude was possessed by the Wendigo and he killed somebody's ass on a bus stop. And I still have that newspaper. I brought it home. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to Montreal. I will stay in Toronto, but I'm not going to Quebec or Montreal. No. Wendigos are up there. I think I'll take a pass. But the thing is, when you don't address something, and racism is the one thing in America that we will not address for some reason. I guess consequences. I don't really know. I guess so many people have so many bad apples or raw hairs up their ass about talking about it that it's gonna linger until it explodes. It's like a festering boil just waiting to pop. And if the sooner we address it, the sooner we can get past it. But no one really wants to get past it because everybody wants to call somebody a nigger or a honky or a cracker or a spook or a gook or a wetback or a slope. It's all these racist names that causes all these fucking problems in the first damn place, which don't need to be a problem, and it shouldn't be a problem. The problem is that we don't address the problem, which is why it is a problem. You know, and the other thing is that we look at society and we pass judgment and throw stones but we're living in glass houses, and we don't try to correct ourselves, but we want to correct others. As I was saying about the video with the lady who was talking about what her ancestors had done to the Native Americans and stuff, and she was explaining to the child why we honor them with this ride that they do to the city. Okay, I respect that she said that. What I don't respect is that self-hatred that she was pitching to herself and the child. It is not your fault that your ancestors did that shit to Native Americans. It's not. It's just like a lot of white people and black people can't get over slavery. Okay, slavery happened. It happened. It's time for us to work forward to make sure that it never happens again. Of course, nowadays, everybody has guns, so it's more likely if slavery was to come up again, there would be a lot of fucking panic, chaos, and discord. And there will be a lot of innocent people getting killed just because of the color of their skin. People will probably shoot people despite the fact that they don't know them, despite the fact that the person they're shooting is probably an innocent person who has probably never slurred a racist statement in their life, probably come from a very prominent family that's not racist at all, and people don't think like that. They just want to automatically, well, I'm going to put a bullet in this white person because they're white. That's not right. And on the flip side of that, white people might say, well, I'm going to put a bullet in this black person because some white person got killed by a black person. Which is how this whole anarchy shit gets started in the first place, is because instead of thinking with our heads, we're thinking with our freaking trigger fingers, and we just want to kill everything in sight. That's how shit goes from bad to clusterfuck in like 60 seconds. You know? And the thing is that if we're not willing to address this problem, it will never, ever, ever go away unless some shit like Independence Day happens, where aliens are coming and either we fight together or we die together, or we die apart miserably and wishing that somehow that black guy was going to save us on that plane before it got struck by that green fucking laser beam. Now, here's the thing. Everyone has done something racist at least once. I have admitted to mine. I'm not getting you to admit to yours. I'm just putting it out there, you know. I've hit a girl for calling me a nigger, and I've shamed myself for telling a Vietnamese guy to go back to China and eat rice cakes. You know, outside of that, I haven't really done anything racist to anybody, and I totally love and respect Asian people, especially the women, and I totally love and respect Asian culture, especially Kung Fu, since it's my life, and I'm really fucking good at it, or at least I was. And, you know, there are things that we need to address. So rule number one, let's try to stop being racist. I know that sounds like an impossible task, but many things are impossible until they're actually done. Way to go, Koreans. And when we think about these things, rule number two, teach your children correctly. Teach your children, if you want to be a racist, to keep that racist shit at home. Because in the real world, when you leave your house and you go around calling people niggers or gooks or things that are very fucking offensive, they may hurt you. And there will be nothing that mommy and daddy can do to someone else's child because their child took a stand against the shit that came out of your mouth. Rule number three. Let's try to understand everybody. Let's try to understand where we're coming from. Let's try to understand cultural backgrounds. Let's try to accept everyone for who they are. The hardest part of being me is trying to prove people that I'm not black. You know, I'm black. Trying to prove that I am has been an awful task. And it's funny how that worked out. And trying to prove that I'm also Native American, well, hell, that's the easy part. They can look at me and tell that I'm mixed with something. And, you know, for the most part, you know, not just accept, but learn where they're coming from. You know, now society is a group of people who all do this when we talk. Even me, especially me. But no one understands that could be taken as like threatening motion. But also, you know, we don't try to collaborate. We don't try to learn where people come from. We chalk it up to stereotypical, oh, he's a black guy, he grew up in the ghetto. I kind of did, but that's not why I cuss. I cuss because I'm ignorant and I don't think before I speak. I cuss because I was taught to cuss when I was a child, and I wish that I never heard a cuss word a day in my damn life, because every time I open up my damn mouth, Something like that always seems to fly the hell out of it. We don't look at cultural diversity anymore, and we don't want to acknowledge it. We don't want to make people understand it. Society has evolved, and society has made people do things they normally wouldn't do, or say things they normally wouldn't say, or not be receptive to people's feelings, or give a flying shit. And I think I have like a hair or something that keeps hanging in my eye. And you know, we don't we don't tend to give a damn about other people's feelings, what makes them who they are, or how they got there, what point in their life where it went from being class A great to class B bitter, where everything in your life is just hell, and no matter what you do, you can't seem to fix it. Well, people don't acknowledge that, and they don't want you to acknowledge that you're suffering, and they don't care if you're suffering because all they care about is how they feel. And that's the thing about empathy and sympathy. If we're not projecting it out to let people know, hey, look, it's okay to have failed at a few things, but you have to keep trying, and you can't just give up like everyone else, and then you get what we have now in this uh, multi-demic society of racists and bigots, because no one wants to express without expression, or the expressions that we have are just like wrong, and people are just doing it wrong, and we're not doing it to a respectable degree of mannerism where we can understand. You know, if a woman walks up and smacks you in the face because you're black, but for no apparent reason other than smacking you in the face for you're black, you're gonna be upset, especially if you don't know why in the hell she smacked you in the face in the first place. And if a woman that you're dating and you're two-timing on her with another chick who's actually a white chick, but she's black, and she smacks you in the face, and the white chick smacks you in the face, well, you're two-timing them. What the hell did you expect? So, like I said, no one's really exploring the cultural differences, and no one wants to deal with the ramifications of all the things that we put people through. We just want to be asshats and do what the hell we want. But every time you do something, you have to understand it, as in Mass Effect, your actions have consequences. Your choices have consequences. And if you're not disciplined enough to know that, then you may want to try going back to school. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Comfort Havoc number 2. I have more, but I'm going to end it here. And if you guys want another heart-to-heart on racism, we can do that. In fact, I'll make a 4th video right now, and it will be the final racist video. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Comfort Havoc number 2. Be seeing you.